how's it going? It's Jamie, the crafty DIY guy. I am back and I've got a DIY extravaganza video for you today that I am so excited about. Today we're going to be talking about a new friend of mine that I want to introduce you to, and the friend is the Cricut Maker. Today we're going to be going over all of the basics of the Cricut Maker, and we're going to be doing some projects for you. So let's get started. Now, the reason why I call this the ultimate smart cutting machine is because literally you can cut 300 plus materials with this one machine. It's like basswood, leather, aluminum foil, fabrics like cashmere or chambray, and of course our favorite vinyl. But I also like to use cardstock and wood veneer. You obviously want something that's going to bring you a lot of value. And the value of the Cricut Maker is massive. The expandable suite of tools alone allows for makers and DIY experts like myself, I just called myself an expert, endless possibilities here. You can literally cut, draw, emboss, engrave, you can create perforations and more with this machine. And it's all with the Cricut Maker. Did I mention that Cricut is always expanding the suite of tools available to continually add value to this machine? Literally, you have everything you need in this one machine. And if you don't now, chances are Cricut's already working on it and they're going to make something else to add even more value to this machine. The other thing that I really love about my Cricut is Design Space. In fact, I think it's my favorite tool. Design Space is actually a companion app that lets you design your projects. It's available on desktop, tablet, and your mobile devices. And if you happen to have a Cricut Maker, this baby is Bluetooth enabled. It's here that you can create projects from scratch or browse thousands of images, pre-designed Make It Now projects, and fonts in the Cricut Image Library. You are able to create projects from anywhere within minutes that are going to be quick and easy. In fact, let me show you some of my projects that I made today. For my first project, I'm going to embellish this metal sign that I've had in my stash. I grabbed a piece of Cricut premium vinyl and cut it down to the same size as my mat. This happens to coordinate with the same size of my sign, so it's perfect. By the way, I'm using the standard grip Cricut cutting mat for this project. The next thing I did was go into Design Space. Design Space offers a lot of different options for me to be able to customize this sign, but I happened to find a free this week section from Cricut.com. So I went ahead and found a design that I liked here. I kind of like this create sign, and then I thought that star might be kind of cool. And then as I was scrolling down looking at all of the different options that I could find, I found this particular item and thought that this would be really perfect for my sign. So that's the one I'm going to go with. The next thing I did was play with the placement and the size of my design. I still wasn't sure if I wanted to go with this kind of abstract design or if I wanted to use this create image. Both of them were free, and I think I may end up going back and using the create image for something else. For this particular project, I'm going to use the more abstract design on the left side. After I sized the image to the space that I needed, I was ready to begin cutting. Or at least I thought I was ready to begin cutting. Right before cutting, Design Space let me know that this was not going to be the appropriate size and that I needed to readjust this just a little bit. By a simple click and drag, I was able to readjust my positioning and my object and make sure that it fits perfectly on my metal sign. Once I was ready to begin my project, I inserted the cutting mat with the vinyl into the Cricut machine. I went back to Design Space and selected my material type, which was vinyl, and hit Make It. I'm absolutely blown away how fast and how smooth this really works. Cutting vinyl is probably one of the easiest materials to cut in addition to cardstock. I really love sitting here watching this machine do its work. Did I mention how easy this was? Even Design Space lets you know when your project is 100% complete and you can remove it from your Cricut Maker machine. For my next part, I am going to then start weeding away any of this vinyl. This is actually pretty easy to do with the Cricut weeding tool. All you're really doing is pulling away any of the excess vinyl from your design itself. You can also use the Cricut spatula, which I have in my hand there, to help kind of hold my design in place as I'm kind of loosening the vinyl all around. This will take a little bit of practice, and I went with a larger design for my very first project because I wanted to make this as easy as possible and to show you guys really how easy this is. Check out how much of this vinyl is being removed right now. And what's great about this vinyl is that I can stick it to another backing and I can save this for another project. Once I finished that part, it was time to start removing the smaller inner pieces of my design itself. I'm using my Cricut Weeder tool, and as you can see, it is really starting to take shape. I absolutely love this design. And again, some of those scrap pieces can be easily reused for another project. Once I weeded everything, it was time to take my transfer tape out. For the transfer tape, you're going to just simply peel this away from the backing itself and then apply this on top of your design. When you do this, you're actually creating something that will help you when you are transferring your decal or your image onto your finished project. As you can see here now, I'm taking the Cricut scraper and I'm going over every single part of the design because I want to make sure that my transfer tape adheres to my design and will transfer over to my metal sign that I'm going to be adding this embellishment to. For your larger projects, I do recommend that you use your scraper tool quite a bit. I would go over your project many times and then slowly start to peel up your transfer tape. If you see that your item is not transferring onto the tape, then definitely do this again until your design comes off of the transfer tape with ease, just like this. Check that out. How cool is that? Once my design had successfully transferred onto the transfer tape, it was time to start adding it to my metal sign. For this, all I did was take my transfer tape image, fold it in half like a taco, and applied it directly down on top of the metal sign. Then I took my Cricut scraper and just made sure that the design was successfully adhering to my metal sign. Once everything was in a really good position, then I just simply removed my transfer tape and voila, I have a customized metal sign that's going to look amazing in my studio space. I absolutely love the way this turned out. And for my next project, I'm going to be using this piece of wood. This is an unfinished wood that I did end up adding a clear coat to. That way my vinyl would have a place to stick and everything would be solid for my design. I went into Design Space and I found this bear paw that I really liked. I sized it down appropriately and then cut it using my Cricut Maker. I love the way this cuts. Again, it is so fast and it worked perfectly once again. I then took my weeding tools and my spatula and started to just pull away my design. And then after I did that, I did add some transfer tape on top of this and then transferred it over to my wood surface. Now, this is probably when you've noticed that I was missing the claws from my design. So I just went back into my scraps. I found where I had cut the claws from the bear paw design and then just simply went back in and added them on top of my design. It worked out perfectly. And because I didn't stick everything completely down, I was able to reposition it just a little bit. I added some rope to the back and it gave me the perfect way to hang this in my Cricut studio at home. I absolutely love the way that this looks. All right, everyone, these are my projects for today. I absolutely love the way my home studio looks. I hope that you enjoyed these and you will continue to check out more projects with the Cricut Maker coming soon.